So we have the agree or disagree cards again. I hate homework.
Yep.
It's dumb. It's dumb. I never did
Dreading
it.
the day.
I never did it. I never did it. I never did it. It's dumb. It is dumb.
Friendship is more important than romance in a relationship. Long distance relationships never work.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Dicksons, episode 12. I feel like we've said the last 3 times we have not recorded in
A week.
a while. Did we do it last week? No, I was sick.
Yeah, well,
right?
so technically 2 weeks.
Oh.
Then. I don't know.
No, wait, we did record last week. Yeah, no. So this week has been a week. I think we did record last week because I think we were relatively fine. I was like, because I remember sounding, I was like, I kind of sound sick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm just getting over it.
We just didn't do it yesterday. We usually do it Saturday.
Yeah. So, I did not get over being sick. I was in day 5 of being sick, and then I got more sick, either from the trip we went on the next day or something. So Monday I wake up Monday I woke up, did my stream and everything, and throughout the middle of the stream I just started to feel where your skin hurts, and I was like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, sometimes happens, whatever, I don't know. But I was like, I'm just kind of feeling crappy. And then I got done, no appetite, didn't really eat all day, and I was like, that's not good. But I mean, I've already been sick for 5 days, so maybe I just didn't sleep well or something like that. And then start to develop a fever at dinner-ish. I come and lay on this couch right here, and I'm laying down, and I'm like, well, I think I went and laid down.
Mm-hmm.
Went and laid down. I remember Liam coming up there and going, poor daddy. Poor daddy. And I was just in a hoodie, something like this, hoodie, sweatpants, and also in bed, just surviving. Wake up and super bad nausea. So that lasted a few days, stuck in bed for a few days. And then what happens Monday, while I'm starting to feel sick, Maria texts me or calls me. It's like, the car's leaking oil. And I was like, oh, good. So hopefully this is a $800 fix, maybe a $1,500 fix. Our car just gone. It's gone. Car's gone.
I'm super sad about it because I really liked it.
Yeah. Make sure you talk louder because you're super low on the green.
Okay.
And yeah, it's leaking oil in a back part, and in order to fix that, you got to take apart the entire car pretty much, or have it welded, something. So I was like, oh, we need a new car. So while I'm sick, while I'm stuck in bed, while we're renting a car to at least exist, we're also trying to find a car to buy. So
It's so fun.
So we bought a car, and that messes up my budget for a good year, because let me just say, once you go back to buying a car and dealing with cars, you realize it's just all a scam. It's just all a scam. All of it. All of it. You go there, right? And you're like, hey, my credit score is 750s-ish. Owe no money. Make decent money. Haven't owed money in about 6 years. We have no debt. We paid off all our debt in our 20s. So we should be good. And then I look at interest rates. When I bought my Nissan Altima, my it was brand new at the time, 2011 Nissan Altima or 2013. Either way, whatever. The car lasted me over a decade. It was a really good car, but I bought it brand new. I think my interest rate was 4.3%. So, fun fact, they did the credit report and they're doing all that, and they're like, well, technically your credit score is 0 because you just haven't borrowed or used anything in so long. So the banks look at it as a 0, even though we can see that you don't owe any money and paid everything off. And I know that doesn't really make sense. So it's it'll probably be a tiny bit higher, maybe 1% higher. And I was like, whatever. I don't plan on having this loan for longer than 14, 15 months, even though it's a 60-month loan. So I see it. It's we bought a Nissan Kick S 2022 for like 13 grand. Put down like 5 or 6 grand, and it like after taxes, tags, and warranty, it ends up being like 16-ish. And then if we pay over the 60 full months, we'll end up paying like $22,000 for a $13,000 car. And our interest rate is like 10%. 10% interest. 10. And I was like, if anybody ever wonders, I was talking about it on stream, I was like, if anybody ever wonders why I don't borrow money, I would be paying $22,000 for a $13,000 car. Granted, yeah, after taxes, tags, and blah, 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 blah. But I was like, I'm just restricting the budget down to basically nothing, and I'm paying off this car in like 10 to 15 months. I'm not paying it over those 60 months. So, we went through that this week. So the editing for some of the shorts, I'm going to have to, this sounds like harsh, I'm going to have to let go of my editor. Not really let go, but just not sign him on for any more months, because he was making around $650 a month to edit all of our stuff for the podcast. And I'm going to have to do that myself. So if there's a little bit less shorts every once in a while, or maybe they're a little bit lower quality, a little less text, I don't know, whatever. It be what it be. Just can't invest into the content as much. But we already invested into all this equipment. Nothing we can do about that. I'm not going to sell it or anything like that. So, Maria planned some content today. We won't spend the entire time bitching about insurance rates and tax hikes, and
I'm going to bitch about the time change, though.
Oh, God. It's so dumb. Like, or at least keep this time. Like, don't make us go back.
Just don't change it again. This is what I like. This is what I want to keep it as.
People who don't have kids probably don't care. No. They probably don't. They're probably just like, whatever, I don't know. Like, I gained an hour sick or lost an hour, whatever, I don't care. Mm-hmm. With kids, it's like, oh, so now my kids won't go to bed until 11, because it feels like it's like 9 when we're bringing them up there.
I felt like it was like 8 to them, probably.
Yeah, and then when they wake up tomorrow, it's going to feel like 6:30 in the morning to them.
They're going to be so happy. I'm going to be so happy.
Just stop changing it back and forth. There's nothing, there's like, nobody is like, ooh, great, I get an extra hour of sunlight at 6 a.m. Like, buddy, we're not farmers anymore. Like, farmers can wake up whenever they want, but like, we're not farmers anymore. Stop changing the time. Mm-hmm. It's stupid.
It's because we're stuck in the past. I don't know. Like with everything else, it's so stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. I would rather have our sunlight be until 6 p.m. than have an extra hour of sunlight at 6 a.m. So.
No. I don't want to be up at 6 a.m.
Nobody wants to be up at 6 a.m.
No. Stupid.
So we have the agree or disagree cards again. So we're gonna. She found some questions. Maybe not as many. Maybe not as many good, because I had a lot of the good ones already found. So there's only so many questions you can ask with this game. Mm-hmm. So we're just gonna debate some of the top.
This one's prepped.
Relationship, or family or something, and then we're just gonna ramble on like we usually do. The podcast is doing okay-ish. Couple of the last few episodes have only gotten, like, the first few episodes, like first like 5, 6, 7, 8 episodes, we're pulling in a good like 300 views long form, like the long full hour ones. The last ones have gotten like only has like 30 or 40 views, and the one before that only had like 80. So either way, we're still committed to the full year, but we'll see how we do. Okay. We're planning the subathon for the stream, which is a big event for me. And that might affect whether we do this next year or not, et cetera, et cetera. But we're just going to jump right into this. This might be a bit shorter of an episode, because we got started late because the kids didn't get to sleep. And then maybe people will like 45-ish minute episodes instead of an hour. So we'll see what that does for retention and viewership, et cetera, et cetera. So
sounds good. All right, I'm going to start with like a funny one. Cereal goes in the bowl before milk.
3.
Wait, what? Cereal goes in the bowl before milk. Okay.
Okay. 3. Agree. Oh, yours is ripped.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it wasn't like that earlier. So weird.
No, there's never a time to put milk in first,
No.
because realistically, if you did like want milk in first, you just pour the right amount of cereal and then you'll have milk left over, and then you can add a little bit of cereal to it. So for anybody who's like, yeah, but then your cereal gets soggy, well then just use
Just
the
eat
correct
it right
amount.
away.
Well, like let's say you like it's a big bowl, so it's gonna get soggy. Then just do a smaller bowl and then add some later.
Yeah.
If you go milk first, like that's patented psychopath behavior.
Yeah, I always am mind blown when I figure out that people
Yeah,
put the
people.
milk in
Yeah,
first.
there's so
Very
many
weird.
things online that you figure out that people do, and they don't know that people don't do that.
Like washed chicken.
Yeah, we'll go on a whole. Okay, listen, I taught food safety certifications for the state of New York. I was not, ma'am, I don't think, I was certified for food safety in New York. It's a cultural thing, sure. You do not need to. You can, sure. Does it do anything? No. Does it affect the
Wash your
taste?
sink after, please.
Yes. Does
if
it
you do
does
that.
it does it affect the taste?
No.
No. Unless you're like washing it with like vinegar, like some people do. Okay.
Yeah.
Like there's like some people that like rinse it with like a vinaigrette or whatever like that. Sure. Okay. Like you're like, I'm getting some of the residue off that I don't like. Okay. Can you do that? Sure. Does it do anything? No. Does it make it more safe? No. In fact, you've actually created probably more of a mess that's harder to clean up, because some of the raw fluids are now all over your sink and all over anywhere that little water droplets have splashed, which can carry bacteria, which actually make it more harmful. Does it make it safer to eat? No. Does washing off any of that get rid of any of the bacteria that you'd be worried about? No. It just kind of spreads it around.
Mm-hmm.
It does
Cook
not
it
make
off.
it safer. It does
Cook
not.
it to 165.
If it's chicken, yes. It does not. Oh yeah, well we said meat, but then you said chicken. Yeah, 165. It does not make it safer. I had this conversation at work, and it was one of the things where people were like, "You don't wash your chicken," and I was like, "Why would you wash chicken?" And they're like, "Why wouldn't you wash chicken?" And I was like, "Because it doesn't do anything." And they're like, "It gets all like the stuff off." I was like, "That's what it cooks in.
That's the juice.
It's gross, but like that's what it cooks in." And then if you're talking about like beef, that stuff that's in there isn't blood. It's just like protein.
Yeah, and I just feel like it would
Juice.
be really hard to
Like, it's like when
rinse
people, like,
beef.
Probably. Like, but when people think like that little like red droplets or what, like that's blood, that's not blood. There is no blood in any part of that meat that you're going to be eating.
Yeah. The only thing that you rinse is because it's literally the directions tell you to with a turkey. It tells you to rinse out the inside.
Yeah, you don't need to wash chicken. Like, you don't.
All right, so you need to rinse your meat before eating.
I'm not even waiting. You don't need to wash your meat. You don't need to. And there's no. Thought I heard a child.
I think the monitor is unplugged too. Because I
Uh-oh.
kept trying to.
Am I hearing anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
My stomach keeps making noises.
Maybe it's that. All right.
Because I'm kind of
No,
off.
you don't need to wash chicken. You don't need to wash beef. You only wash something if it tells you to. Doesn't make it safer. Doesn't get rid of the germs. No, that's it.
Long distance relationships never work.
Three.
I was on the fence because I feel like they can work short term, but long term, it just doesn't make sense to me.
It depends on the duration. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it wasn't specific, but like obviously, it does work.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people who have like met online and then they like dated for like a year online before they ever even met, and now they're like still together. So that obviously does work. Would it work for me?
But eventually
Yes.
they're not long distance. So
Well, I assume everybody at some point isn't. You don't stay like that forever.
I guess I was taking it too literal.
Like,
long
they can
distance forever.
they can work. They wouldn't work for me.
Yeah.
But like if we had to be long distance for like a full year, like it would suck, but we'd be fine.
Right. Yeah. So I agree with it that way.
It can work. What is the likelihood of it working? Like, I mean, people can barely. You need just like you need to put in effort, and you need to work on intimacy and emotional support and all these different things that you need to do. That puts such a barrier with distance and time and effort, and like how connected do you really feel? Like, are you getting those good, chemical releases in your brain from the phone call compared to like
And just like physical touch, like even just like being able to hug each other. That's gotta.
It can work, but geez, that'd be tough.
Yeah. True love means never having to say you're sorry. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. I've heard that before, and I had kind of forgotten that it was a saying, and I just realized how stupid it is.
True love. What is true love? It's not really subjective. It would just mean love that is true. And I know that's literal, but like what is
I don't know.
like false love? Okay, so true. All right, like obviously we have then true love then, but like no, you say sorry all the time.
Yeah. And if you mess up,
you're just like,
you're
oh, my
sorry.
bad. Yeah. Like I guess it depends. Like true love, you don't really do things to your partner maliciously to where you would have to apologize. You usually apologize for like moments of weakness, but they don't usually come with intent. Mm-hmm. So maybe it means something different. Maybe true love means never. No, I don't know. It's a bad saying.
I just think it's stupid. So I don't know. It was on the list.
No, it's a bad saying.
All right. Friendship is more important than romance in a relationship.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be able to get along. Like, it's your best friend. It should be your best friend along with your lover, because you're being friends more often than you're being intimate or romantic. You have to be able to get through the hard times.
Super romantic together but not friends, it wouldn't work. If you were super good friends but we're no longer romantic together, it could still work, but it wouldn't work the opposite way. Like, you do need some romance interjected into it, but it could still work if the friendship was there. You can't, like, you shouldn't really lack romance entirely, but if you're not even to the point to where like you want to like hang out with that person, like I want to hang out with this person every day forever, then romance doesn't matter
and not get sick of them.
Yeah, romance is just irrelevant then.
I wish I could remember exactly what it was, but it said find someone that you can, I don't know, basically go through your hardest days with, instead of like someone that you want to have fun with, because it's those moments that you get through that make your relationship stronger, and that are going to happen probably more often than not.
Like, there's so many shitty moments. Like, when stuff is going good, you could be with like any group of friends, really. Like, even if you think about friends, like if everything's good, again, everyone's there, like, cool. But like when things are bad, like you need to find like one person.
Yeah.
Like if the world is ending, like ending, everyone's running out of money, we don't know how to feed the kids and stuff like that. Like, who do you want to do that with?
You want to be around people that you don't have to like put on a show for, or make sure you seem on. Like, you want to be around people that you can just exist and be okay.
I think that depends on your personality too, like as an individual, because I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't care whether well, it's like the same question that we answered that one time, like, who can you be yourself, or like what if somebody didn't accept you for who you were? Like, yeah, like they just wouldn't be in my life, so it's like it's a non-factor, but like you don't want to have to fake it.
Yep. Social media ruins relationships. 3, 2. I feel like it can.
These are very broad questions, though. Like, usually you
Yeah.
need to be very specific, because just like the long distance thing, like the long distance relationships obviously do work.
I told you this list was crap.
Social media is a tool / resource / utility that, when used incorrectly, can do anything. It can make your relationship better. It can make your relationship worse. I actively sit there, like when you go online and you see, holy shit, these guys are fucking lunatics. Thank God I'm not dating like the things I see online and blah, 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 blah. Does that make our relationship technically better because you take what we have for granted less? Sure. Do you also go on there and could see like a bunch of guys doing a bunch of nice things, and you're like, why doesn't my husband do that? I see all these guys, blah, 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 blah. Sure. So it's like, it just brings us back to the original social media point. Like, it doesn't ruin relationships unless you use the social media in a way that makes you unhappy. I don't. I use social media in a way that consistently makes me be like, thank God I'm in this relationship. Jesus Christ.
It's like comparing is the thief of joy.
Yep. So I mean, like, does social media ruin relationships? No. People's inability to use social media healthily is what ruins relationships. The same way does like working with female or like coworkers of the opposite sex ruin relationships. Technically, it's like the number one area of affairs. So does working with other women and men ruin relationships? No, it's the person and the decisions they make around that environment that ruins it. So I feel like if you blame social media, you take away personal accountability from the people who are ruining their relationship with it.
True. Yeah. I guess I don't know how to make that question more specific.
No, I mean, it's a broad question. It made us
Yeah.
talk about it. So, I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
you're just like, never mind.
I would stay in a loveless relationship for the kids. 3, 2.
So, if the...
Maybe I should say toxic relationship.
Oh, then disagree.
Yeah. Well, it said loveless on the thing.
Yeah.
But
Like, if we weren't in love anymore, but we were still adults and still mature, and it's like, we're just going to sleep in separate rooms and whatnot, and we're not going to be intimate and all these different things, and we're not really going to, like, date, but, like, just, like...
I could see that, yeah.
But, like, we're gonna co-parent in the same household until they're older, and then we're going to figure out our own stuff. Probably won't date because it would be too...
Respect for that, then, yeah.
So it's like, toxic, though? No, that would be worse for the kids. Just saw something about that was like, it's either better to have a healthy relationship or a healthy divorce. Like, my parents, like, knew they didn't like each other, knew they didn't get along, but there really wasn't too many things. Whereas if I think they stayed together, I think growing up with just constant yelling and constant bickering, fighting, yelling at each other, disliking each other, blah, 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 like, they were divorced from the time I can remember. But, like, I really only remember a handful of times where it was like, where they're like, they're just fighting and whatnot. And that would be worse. So either like healthily divorced or healthily together. So if it's toxic, then if you're changing it, then we would agree that it's...
It just seems so harmful for children. Like, it's just, they're going to be in fight or flight all the time. You know?
I don't think they'd be, like, even if you were, like, very, very good parents, I don't think, again, like, because we've always talked about, like, what you show them is more important than, like, what you're telling them. So even sitting them down and be like, oh, we love each other. But, like, if you're just fighting all the time in front of them, like, I feel like as they get older and they date, that's going to just be, like, hardwired into their brain. Like, this is how I respond when this happens because that's what I saw. And I don't feel like you can just choose not to do that.
And it's hard because there's so many variables to a toxic relationship and leaving, and it's very hard. And I mean, I've witnessed it with friends, family, whatever. It's very hard, and I don't know. I'd like to be able to say that I would be strong enough to do that, but I guess I don't.
To do what? Like leave?
Yeah.
It depends. Like, I mean, if the kids would be fine either way and they wouldn't be used against each other. I could never imagine even if you like cheated and I was like, do not like you, like just not a fan, right? I still couldn't imagine using the kids against you, or even unless it got like really complicated where they just like kept assuming like I left you and were mad at me, and it's like, buddy, I didn't end this, right? Like certain decisions were made, and it would be like, I guess it would depend on what age they were on if we would even divulge, or it would be like, yo, listen, like I didn't leave.
It'd be so hard to be the bigger person and mature and not
and be like I so like, okay, so like
and
let's
not
say
tell
I
them the
cheated on
truth.
you and that ended it, and it was like I am the one who made a mistake.
Yeah.
But like you should own up to it. I broke this family apart.
Yeah.
I'm still your father, right? And a level of respect is deserved there, but like, yeah, there's a level of respect lost from my children to me. I can't like, and then as a father, I have to be okay with it. I broke up this family.
Yeah.
You are allowed to be upset with me. It's not just like, oh no, you can't be upset with me. I'm the dad, and you're with me this weekend, or blah 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 blah. Like, you probably do still need to come to my legal time, but like, yeah, you deserve to be upset. You deserve to hold me accountable for breaking apart this family.
I saw this TikTok of a mom, and she I wasn't sure how I felt about it because she brought their like 4 or 5 kids with her to this restaurant, and she pretended to be a girl that her husband met on a dating app, and he went to meet her, but it was the wife and the kids, and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And and then she exposed him to the children. He just tried to deny it at first.
I think that's harmful. I think if that is going to happen, it can't be with malicious intent. Like, you as the person that's in the wrong do need to come clean to your children about what happened, why it happened, what that led to.
I feel like it would have been better by herself, not with the kids.
Yeah. I mean, he shouldn't be cheating in the first place, but like, yeah, you got to leave the kids out of it until it's like as hard as it would be, you have to set aside the emotions for that conversation with them.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a hard one. I don't know. It's lots of feeling. There's just, like I said, there's just so many variables, but I don't know.
You don't have to worry about it if you guys just don't cheat. You know what I'm saying? Like, get off Tinder. Like, delete Tinder. It's just...
Oh, I mean in general, I'm
just talking to the audience. Like, just, all the stuff we're talking about, you don't have to worry about it. Just don't cheat.
Yeah.
Don't be a piece of shit.
That's true.
The bar's low.
Arguments make relationships stronger. 3. Yep.
As long as they're handled correctly.
Yeah, that's true. And then...
I'd be more concerned if people were avoiding conflict conversations.
Because then it's just going to boil up inside, and it's just going to explode one day over, like, your husband not taking the trash out. Because you just let it simmer for way too long.
It leads to resentment. It leads to contempt.
Yeah, resentment.
And contempt is like the number one pre-indicator of divorce, where it's just like you just genuinely... I don't know how to explain contempt.
Me either.
But it's genuine, like just straight dislike. Like, I just don't like this person. Like like it's, you might even still love them, don't want anything bad to happen to them, but like you don't.
That would be so sad.
You don't respect them. There's a lack of respect. Like, I don't respect you as a person. Don't respect you as a husband. Don't respect you as a father.
Like, I wouldn't even be friends with you.
Right. Yeah. You're just with me because parting is very inconvenient.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yep.
Monogamy is unnatural for humans.
Monogamy is unnatural at a evolutionary standpoint. Men are biologically driven to want to spread their genes
I thought
because
you were gonna say spread the seed.
same thing. Like we're biologically engineered to want to do that because you need to create as many offspring as possible because you don't want inbreeding. So like if there's like not a whole bunch of humans and like let's say there was like only like a town of like 4 or 5 families, you want a large variety of offspring that have a lot of different genetic makeup because that leads to less whatever. But the whole part of humans in evolving is to surpass those primal whatever, right? Like it's become very normalized the same way like domesticating dogs is now like they're like a normal thing. Back in the day it wasn't normal. It's not a good example at all. It's just the first thing that came to my brain. I'm just more or less trying to explain like how like we evolve. Like
I was about to say, before you toxic people get excited thinking that, oh, this is, a reason to
this is kind of making fun
not
of
be
you.
monogamy.
This is kind of making fun of you, buddy. Like I'm saying, like your brain is thinking like caveman brain, and you should act like the same way. There's an inherent instinct to stick around people that are similar to you, and we're gradually evolving away from that as well. Other people who are different aren't scary. They're not bad. They're just different, right? Like we're evolving away from that. But like back in the day, when you start talking about like, like base humans, we would stick with what's known and what's familiar because what's known and what's familiar tends to be more safe than not. And safe is good. Safe leads to survival. So a lot of these things that are ingrained in our head is literally just for the survival of us and our offspring. That's why that affects attraction from like men to women. That affects the way our bodies react to children, like how important they are, the innate like chemicals that are released. All of this just has to do with evolution and survival. So even that, like monogamy, became essential for humans because, unlike other animals, like women go through such a hard time in labor and then the babies are born and they're not able to do anything. Other animals are born and they're walking, running, already eating, right? So it became essential for humans with the way we evolved to have somebody that would directly protect the mother and the offspring because you would be obviously out of commission while caring for the child. So you needed somebody to protect and provide, and that goes all the way back to our base instincts. But like I said, the whole point of evolving is not needing to spread your genetic makeup as far as possible. So
Yeah. Side note, it made me think of the Call Her Daddy podcast with my favorite author, Sarah J. Maas. Valeris. Shout out to the book release. But she was talking about
October 26th.
27th.
January 12th.
Tuesday. It's on a Tuesday. She talks about how one of the characters in the book giving birth, she related it to her own experiences, and it's just a crazy thought to think without modern science, probably, I mean, the way I gave birth to Liam, I would be dead.
You both would have died,
Yeah. And she
unless the Pitocin affected the inability to possibly push, or maybe your body wasn't ready yet. Like there is some things like maybe not, maybe because we induced that way it made it harder. But yeah,
I always say like maybe I just pushed too soon, but I was fully dilated, so I don't know.
Who knows? But yeah, you definitely could have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so scary.
Even just 50 years ago, you could have died.
That's insane.
That's why when people say things, they're like, there's a wide, maybe from the younger generations, which, this is all they've lived through, so I get it, but they're just like, damn, I was like born in the wrong time. It's like, you weren't.
No.
You were born right
you might not
now.
Have even been born.
There are so many bad things happening in the world. I do understand that, but right now is the best time to have been alive in the history of humans.
We've seen so many changes with things too. It's crazy.
Life expectancy, like I was talking the other day. I'm like, could you imagine explaining to yourself 20 years ago that you were going to be able to have access to basically a movie theater like on a handheld thing where you can just be like, oh, I'm feeling kind of sick today, and you can just watch movies on like a screen in your hand, right? And it would just be like automatic, and there's just thousands and thousands of movies and TV shows available, and you're just like, oh, I'm done with that. I'm just going to play a game real quick. Oh, I'm going to share photo like.
Yeah.
And then just so imagine what it's going to be like 20 years from now. 20 years ago, there was no
like kids
iPhones
today,
and there was the beginning stages of like an iPhone like ish, but like 20, that's only 20 years.
Yeah. Imagine you want to watch a movie, but you go into Blockbuster and there's no like they're empty.
They're just all the empty cartridges with nothing behind any of them,
And you can't watch it until this random person, you have no idea who it is, decides to return it.
Yep.
And you can't watch that movie. Today, you just instant.
Today, that doesn't even go in the theater. Back in the day, if you didn't catch it in theaters, you had to wait like 5 months and for it to come to DVD. It comes
out so fast now.
Now, it's like a 3-week wait sometimes, or sometimes not at all.
It's crazy. And I just don't remember the last time I watched a DVD.
In terms of medicine, in terms of science, in terms of everything, like everything's, that's what I'm saying. We talked about the other podcast. I'm like, we just got to make it like 10 more years without anything super serious happening. And medicine's probably just going to be like, you're good. We just got to make it like 10 more years, everybody. Like 10 years. Medicine by then, you can be golden.
Mm-hmm. I hope so. I got to check. I got to make sure that I was right with the 27th. I'm pretty sure it is. But now I'm second guessing myself. It's the 27th. Okay. Had to make sure I was right for the girlies. Well, I feel like we should go to this one. I think romance novels set unrealistic expectations. 3. Yeah, they definitely do. It's a nice escape for just fantasy. Like well, not all romance books are fantasy. But it's like watching a movie. It's just like a nice little escape, but it's so unrealistic.
Yeah, that's what movies do, though. Every movie or novel or something sends up unrealistic expectations. You're watching, even if you not in romance things, you're watching or you're reading about any of the ones I've read. It's like you're reading about a protagonist who just happens to be the hero, and they make all the right decisions, and everything works out for them, and they happen to survive. Which is, if there's a story of like really bad things happening, there will be somebody that survives that will be considered a hero, that will have a crazy story. But yeah, if you're relating it to, of course it sets up unrealistic expectations. If we're talking romance novels in general, I remember way back when 50 Shades of Grey was like the most popular thing, and I was like, Maria, that's dumb. And you're like, well, how do you know? And I was like, okay. I was like, fine. So I read the books, and it was like, there's okay, but it's just like, there's just so many cliche tropes of just like dark billionaire 30-year-old super handsome guy just happens to meet the shy virgin like everything was just like, she's the only one who can fix his dark nature, and he only wants,
you always want to be the one that can change him.
Yeah, it's like I get it. It's the whole point is, to make it relatable from the author to the reader point of view.
Of real life.
Oh, so cool if I would be the one that the dark the dark twisted 30-year-old billionaire handsome.
You just have to go into these books with the reality that, like, understanding reality that they're not based on real life.
It was really interesting reading something written by a woman when writing like the man's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
was
she
it
wasn't
accurate? Was it pretty good or no?
It wasn't bad by any means.
Mm-hmm.
But you could tell it was written from a woman's
and
point
it's
of
like,
view
I don't know, because I'm not a man, so I don't.
Right.
But I do read a lot, and I mean, I feel like they're good, but
like there's plenty of women psychologists who like really do know how men's brains work. So like I didn't get the vibe that it was just like, oh, this is just way off base. That's not how men think. Like, it was accurate, but like you could tell, like, and it's not in a way that's like demeaning, but like, oh, I can tell this was written from a woman's point of view. Just like I'm sure some girls can see a man write their point of view and be like, he kind of understands, but like you can just kind of tell it was written by
Yeah,
a dude.
that's true. Yeah,
Some people,
'cause
but some
I
people
read-
get it right, some people get it wrong. So I mean, it's not necessarily about who wrote it, because like, um, obviously like Game of Thrones and all these different things I write, like they write female or protagonists and antagonists sometimes and whatnot, and they've credited like, yo, this person wrote like a female character like in a really admirable way, and then sometimes women don't write women in admirable ways, and vice versa, men to men, women to women. But it was interesting reading a story about how a man would feel in a certain situation written by a woman, because I just never have.
The next one I read, I'm gonna have to have you check it out and see what you think. Relationships need separate hobbies to survive.
Yeah, wait, I gotta think. Relationships need separate hobbies to survive.
I guess I don't really like how these questions are written either. I feel like maybe it should say
Maybe
it's essential
thrive instead of
for-
survive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you can change it to thrive instead of survive.
Yes.
Okay. 3.
Yeah.
Like-
you need your own things. You need to
You like
find joy.
I've talked about this before, but I'm like, when people are in the dating scene, like you shouldn't be looking for somebody with similar interests. You should be looking for somebody with similar values or similar morals or any of that. Like if we both just really liked video games, it wouldn't change anything. Even if we liked the same video game and only played video games together, it wouldn't really change. Like we wouldn't not be able to thrive. But being able to share things you like with your partner is some of the most fun things, like introducing your partner to the same way, like introducing our kids to stuff in the future that like we like or we think they would like that will be fun. But it doesn't need to be different than their interests.
Yeah. I want to read them Harry Potter.
Yeah,
I know we talked about the other day, and I have so many friends that are reading their kids Harry Potter right now. I want to wait a little bit though.
Yeah, because right now we'd start to read and they'd be like, okay, all done. Can we be all done? They just want to, they
wouldn't care.
Yeah. They're just, sometimes they like to sit there and read books, but like, they're like, next page.
Yep.
They don't want to like sit there and like, they want
Or they're like, go back to this picture.
Yep. But
yeah, I mean, it's cool to share. Like you said, like I've seen a lot of people playing video games together, or they have their own setup next to each other and they're playing something different, which is cool. And I mean, it is technically your own hobby because it just happens to be the one that you both enjoy. But it is cool to tell the other person things that they don't know.
Or just experience them. Like, oh, I want to show you this show I like, or this movie I like, or
yeah,
whatever. Like, and if,
like when Fourth Wing comes out finally,
yeah,
as a TV show. I can't wait.
You mean if it comes out?
No, it will. Michael B. Jordan, don't let me down.
Well, it's just his publishing company or whatever, his producing company.
I feel like he's got power. He can make it happen. Yeah. I'm so excited. I hope it happens. But I'm refusing to tell him anything about... I feel like I started to tell you in the beginning. Maybe. I don't remember. Do you remember anything that I told you?
Yes.
You
but
do?
I'm just... Well, yeah, but I'm just actively not going to think about it because then...
Yeah, I don't think it got... Yeah, okay.
Like, it's in my brain. If you were to start being like, tell me everything you know about it, you're going to be disappointed with how much I know because you're going to be like, oh, so it is kind of spoiled. But if I don't think about it, like right now, if I'm just keeping my mind blank, I won't think about it and it won't be spoiled. But if I start to like think... So it's like, it's weird with the way my memory works. Like, if I start to tell you the stuff I remember about what you said, you're going to be like, oh. But if I don't think about it right now, I won't really remember it actively.
Yeah, my memory really, really sucks. But if someone starts talking about something... I'll be like, oh, yeah.
You need me to unlock it all the time.
Yeah. Isn't Steve the same way?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, you'll be like this, and you'll be like, oh, I forgot those things happened. I'm like, yeah. Like, you didn't save it. It's there. It's there, but, like, you don't have access to it anymore. And so I'm like, no, yeah, we did this with this. And you're like, oh.
I say it all the time. I wish I had, like, a pensieve where you could just...
Mm-hmm. That's almost like what I have. It's almost like... It's like all the compartments of memories, and I can just think about what I want to remember, and then I'll just start to remember it. Whereas yours, the drawer's
It's just
stuck, and you just need me to open the drawer for you.
like it's just chirping.
Yeah.
It's empty. It's blank.
Yep.
Or just, no, it's not usually blank. It's just full of anxious thoughts.
Yeah. And you need me to close those anxious drawers.
Close all the
and then
drawers.
like pull open the one that you couldn't remember. I'm like, yeah, there you.
Yeah, it was like, why do I remember this stupid thing that happened 10 years ago, but I can't remember.
Because you never close
what
the
I
drawer.
need
You leave
to.
all the drawers open. You never forget to close. You have too many drawers open.
I sure do. All right, this is my last one. What time is it?
12:05.
Oh, okay, so it's pretty good. And it's completely random from anything else we've talked about. Homework does more harm than good. And the last part it says, and should be banned. But I don't know about banned. We'll just say homework does more harm than good.
I hate homework.
Yep.
It's dumb. It's dumb. I never
Dreading
did it.
the day.
I never did it. I never did it. I never did it. It's dumb. It is dumb. I get it. I understand the point of it. It helps reinforce, but it just establishes this monotonous idea that is how you're supposed to learn, and every kid learns differently, and they're already at school for like 8 hours a day, which is almost a third of their life, which means they only have a third of their life when they get home, since the other third should be spent sleeping. Which means that you want them to take more time out of the only free time they get to have a relationship with their parents, with their friends, do sports, do all these other things they're supposed to do, and you're giving them hours worth of homework a night. That's either an issue with you as a teacher, or you as a curriculum, or you as a superintendent, or this whole structure as a whole. We do not need to be sending kids home with homework. You need to give them time at the end of class to do it, and if the class has been disruptive all day, then one of the consequences is we didn't get through enough time for our curriculum today, so you're going to have to finish the stuff we were going to do at home, so next time act better. And you can use that as a reward or consequence tool. But if you're sending your kids home as a overall group every single day with at least an hour or two of homework, you're doing a disservice to the kid. And I don't know what I'm going to do when the kids come home with that much homework.
Nope.
Because I don't want them to like fail and get in trouble, but also at the same point, like, do your jobs while they're there. And this isn't a shot at the teachers. The teachers have way too many kids, and they have like not enough time, and they don't have the right resources. This isn't a knock at teachers, but the whole way we do homework and the whole way we do any of that is dumb.
Like when your kid is spending literally the entire night, the entire weekend, and even vacation. I've heard of them giving homework on vacations. That's too much. It doesn't make sense. Or if it's a small amount that you could get done in like their study hall time, then okay.
This is what I did. And I don't suggest that kids do this. Listen to your parents in case there's younger people watching this, or if you watch it as a family. I don't know who watches this, or maybe they're watching in the future if the podcast is doing better. If I couldn't get it done, like on the bus on the way to school, or at lunch, or in study hall, or right before class, you got what I got. Mm-hmm. And I would just say, I don't do homework at home. And I just wouldn't. Parents weren't super thrilled about it. They would just ask if I had homework, and they started to do things like, oh, you're going to have to be put in homework club and stuff like they did stuff to try to punish me. Like, yeah, they literally tried to like make me stay after school for an hour every day so that way I could get my homework done, and I would just do it faster or half-ass it or whatever. And that's what kept my grades at like a B instead of an A. But it was just like, some teachers were reasonable. I was like, the whole point of homework is to make sure I'm learning the criteria. I'm acing every one of your tests while not doing homework. So why do I have to do homework? And it's like, I understand you make all the other kids do homework, so it's only fair to make me do it as well. But if I don't have time to do it, then I'm not going to do it. I already learned everything I need to learn. I don't need to do this for a third time on a piece of paper. I'm proving to you through quizzes and tests that I'm learning the material, which is what your job is to make sure I'm learning it. I'm not doing this at home. Yeah. I got sports. I got friends. I'm going to do stuff.
If they do sports and have practices almost every night, how are you putting that much pressure on a child to do so much?
You can see why teachers either loved me or hated me.
Yeah.
There were some that was like, I get it, I understand, and like we'd have an adult conversation. There were some that were like, you're going to do it, and I would just be like, I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do it if I have time, and you might get half of it, and they're like, well, I'm giving you a 0. I'm like, do what you got to do. Give me a 0 then. I'm still going to end up passing your class with like an 80 because I'm going to ace all your tests. So this homework.
And it's like the kids that aren't good at tests are the ones that get screwed over, and they have to do it, which sucks.
Well, that's an issue with like, we shouldn't be, well, I mean, testing, I guess technically is the only way to reference whether you've learned the material or not. So I get it. Like, you can't really bypass tests, but I mean, we could go through an entire episode of what's wrong with our school curriculum. We could go through an entire episode of just they teach us the wrong things. Standardized testing is a joke.
Yeah. When
SAT scores deciding your future and having it just be one test you take one time that you study for one moment of your life. It just tells people. I've had the opportunity to work with, and hire some people who were awful at tests. Weren't even that great at reading or writing.
I was really
great
bad at
leaders,
tests.
Great people, great workers, great at doing things that required reading and writing, but they just weren't great at tests. They just weren't great at it. So what does test taking and standardized testing have to do with the abilities of the young generation that's growing up? What does it have to do with it?
Nothing. And you see so many teachers starting to homeschool.
You see so many people starting to homeschool because what you realize is, and we've talked about this before, there's so many advantages to them being in school, especially socially, and there's a lot of different things that's great about it. But the reason that a lot of people are moving to homeschool, and again, this is only good if you have parents capable of homeschooling. This isn't something where you can just half-ass it and just kind of give them some textbooks to do. You'd have to actually work at it, and it would be hard. But they don't have to wake up at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
It takes about 4 and a half hours of their day, so they could do it from 9 to 1 and be done with their whole day. You wouldn't be restricted by geographical location, meaning if you had to go travel that time or you were off doing something, they could still get their work and schooling done wherever. Oh, we're going on a trip to Virginia to do something, and you could make that part of their learning. You could go travel and go to, I don't know why randomly, you could go to Washington, D.C., you could go to Gettysburg, you could go to all these different things and teach them about different things. There's so many things you could do, and it would be a much better experience than sitting in a classroom in a chair for 8 or 9 hours and coming home with 2 hours worth of homework, and also dealing with the social pressures and weirdness that comes with the way our schooling structure is set up. Every time I ever talk about homeschooling, I'm it could be genuinely great for our kids, but
not yet.
No.
Yeah.
But if they can get quality education, it's
once
so
they get past elementary school, which makes me nervous.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's something that I hear some people do it, and they're thank God you did that for there was just that podcast with the dad talking to his daughter, and she was homeschooled, and she's just I just had such a better relationship with my parents. I just got so much more time with them to learn from them and learn life lessons. And there's so many outside influences that come with being away from your parents for a third of, so obviously, like I said, if we just keep breaking it down, they're gone, they're sleeping for a third of their lives, 8 hours. They're at school for a third of their lives while they're with us. So we get an equal amount of time as school gets.
And I swear summer vacation keeps getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah, end of June to beginning.
It's literally the end of June now. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I feel ours used to be the beginning of June, because I feel ours used to be June 7th or 10th or somewhere in
I know
the first
high school's sooner, but
2 weeks, but it's just school is giving them so many influences with potentially people you don't want influencing them. There can be a great teacher too. You know how there's that thing where this one teacher I remember saved my life or changed the entire trajectory. That to me isn't good. I know that sounds weird, but what if somebody doesn't get that? Because that's where you're learning and that's where you're developing. And if it's not at home because you're there for so long, this is where you're learning how the world works. And high school is nothing like how the world works. And I'm very grateful for those people that find that coach or that really good teacher that really does influence them to do better, be better, whatever. But some kids don't get that.
Yeah.
Because they just don't get that connection with that right teacher in that right moment at that right time. Or maybe the teacher just doesn't have the time to be that person for every person. Or just doesn't notice, or maybe just conflicting personalities don't allow that connection to exist. And then I guess that kid just slips through the cracks and just doesn't get as good of an experience. Whereas if they're home, you get that experience with your parents 16 hours a day. You get those
so
life lessons.
Teachers are amazing, and they just, I don't know. And I just feel us in particular, like we've had very good luck with the people in our town and the school system here.
Everyone knows each other. It's very beneficial.
Yeah. And I don't know, because it's a very hard job. I would never be able to be a teacher, but at the same time,
well, that's what the issue with the class sizes being too big.
Yeah.
Even if you wanted to connect and really make an impact on a kid's life, you have 25 other kids that also would need that. Even if you try to dedicate 10 minutes times 25.
And they all learn differently too. So like one way, and it's an impossible job for a teacher because you have so many kids, and like it just baffles me.
Now imagine
it's so hard.
You go to school as a kid for 8 hours, and each teacher also has, 20 other people they're talking to and teaching and learning and molding. And this isn't like a giant advocacy for homeschooling, but imagine if those kids had 2 people with them all day for questions, for help, for life lessons. Because this is the issue too, is with the way the economy is nowadays, like like both parents are working and the kids are in school, and then like the dads and moms aren't even getting home till 6, 7. You might like have the mom for a little bit, and then the kids kind of just go to their rooms, and it's just like,
I'm just missing so much time. Makes me sad.
So yeah, no, it's something we've considered. It's something we're going to continue to consider.
Yeah. Like I think elementary school is so important, especially the very early years, to get the socialization and all that good stuff. And I think that, I don't know, I don't want to say that school isn't as harmful, like elementary school isn't as harmful as middle school and high school, but
elementary school, like you're learning all the basics and you're learning how to coexist with a large group of people that are diverse with different families and different backgrounds and stuff like that. And you're like learning that as a young kid, and that's important. And then once you get to middle and high school, it's basically just reciprocated, same thing over and over, but learning new material. Right, you're just like learning harder math, or you're learning harder. So it's just like middle school and high school are not as important and carry more risks, especially from a social standpoint.
Yeah.
So it's like those are the pivotal moments where the right friends that you choose are going to affect the outcome of your entire life. You choose the wrong friends, you choose the wrong choices in middle and high school, it affects your life forever. So that doesn't mean we're going to remove our kids' opportunities for that or anything like that, but it is something that, it gives us more time with the kids during their years where they will be with us longer, because after 18, we'll see them not nearly as often.
Yeah.
So it's like it gives us more time with them. It gives us more time and ability to teach them life lessons and the way things really work, right? Because the same way teachers have limited time, we would also have limited time just because of school. So it's like they've just been gone for 8 hours. Now they have a couple hours of school. Are we really going to be like, hey, life lesson time too on top of that? That's, you know what I mean? Like, that's just like when they're home is when they should be learning from their parents. And we should be taking over and sending them to school to be in the best position to learn there. But if you're sending back to the whole thing, if you're sending them home with homework just so they can learn more about numbers and scantrons and memorization, like, and especially nowadays, like, it's like how long are we going to sit and act like memorization is important? And I don't mean it's not important in general. There is some things you need to know off the top of your head, but like everything is just looked up nowadays.
Yeah,
I don't need to know it.
Even as like practicing doctors.
Yeah, they just WebMD it and give you the printout, right? And that doesn't mean like there's things you need to know, but what it should be is it shouldn't be about memorization, and that dictates whether you're adequate for a school or adequate for a job. It should be your ability to use that information in productive ways. I don't need to memorize certain different math things anymore. I can just get it. I can just get something
Take out the phone.
Yeah, I could just get something to do it. But I still need to know how it happens and how it gets there.
Yeah.
But like, I don't need to know dates off the top of my head anymore, because like even the ones I did.
That's what I struggled with so bad. I was so bad at history.
Because even people with good memory, like, yeah, I remember a lot of the dates of a lot of things. I remember the dates of a lot of key events. Like, sure, that's good. But like, if I don't remember, I can just get the
Yeah.
information in literally a second. So I mean, like, I don't know at one point there's going to be a revolution in terms of the way schooling is done, because the practices that they're pushing are just outdated, and it doesn't make sense to base your entire future on your ability to memorize anymore. It serves no purpose. What serves a purpose is how to find correct information, how to utilize the information correctly, how to critically think and challenge your own beliefs, how to debate with other people on different aspects, communication, finance, like all these things are important. These things will affect your life. Your ability to memorize dates.
And the way they
mean
have them
nothing.
teach math.
Oh my God.
It's so dumb.
Oh my God. It is so dumb.
I feel for the teachers. Like, shout out to teachers. Like,
Yeah,
we know a
none
lot
of this is the teachers. It's
we
the
know
curriculum.
a lot of
it's
wonderful people that are teachers.
Yeah.
And they
It's
they
rarely
do
the
so well.
teachers. You'll run into
Yeah.
some people sometimes where I'm like, you clearly don't like kids. What you doing?
Yeah.
Right? You don't. Like, it's clear. You don't. I had teachers growing up.
Yeah.
Knew they didn't like kids. And I would, like I said, teachers either loved me or hated me. But because I was the one that would just be like, do you just not like kids? Like, in like what 10-year-old is asking that? I'm like, it just seems like you just don't like this job with the way you act. Like that people just, But
It's
luckily,
sad there are people that...
yeah, but luckily
Yeah.
my mom would, be like, I mean, well, do you? Like, right? Like my mom, like like, even though that sounds rude, that sounds like nothing like an 11-year-old is going to be asking a teacher. Like, it's not,
No.
it seems like it's not appropriate, but like, would you talk to your parents like that? And I remember this one interaction where I was like, well, my parents aren't just randomly rude for no reason. I feel like you're randomly rude to me for no reason. And that made her angry. And I was like, do you see? Like, I didn't say anything. I feel like you're coming off as rude. I was in like 4th grade. I was like, I feel like you're coming off as rude. I haven't done anything. I'm confused. I won't say which teacher it is. They would know. But like,
Are
yeah,
they still there?
I don't know. I don't know. I just know, like, I just didn't get along with my 4th grade teacher all that much. And I remember my mom like having a lot of meetings with the school and stuff. And it was like, he's never had issues with the school before. So, I mean, like, why do you all of a sudden think it's him? Like, why all of a sudden is it him that's the issue, and getting recess taken away and all this different stuff? And he's the problem child, right?
Don't
He's one of
take
the
away recess.
he's one of the problem children now, but he's never been, and it was a dual classroom, so there was like 2 teachers in it, and I only had an issue with one that wasn't my teacher, didn't have an issue with mine, and it was like, why is he never getting in trouble like with his, but he's always getting in trouble with, like, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't think she likes me. So I said, I just don't think you like some kids in here, and I think you treat them differently. So
Call her out.
yeah, and she just didn't like what I said, and I was like, okay. It's like, would you talk to your parents like this? And I was like, no. She's like, exactly. I'm like, well, because my parents don't act the way you act, right? So like, it just like we don't get to that point.
Got her.
Yeah, no, I got shout out to my mom for like backing me there. And she's like, what does he say? Because like, I think I remember her asking, like, what is he saying that's like out of line? Like, what is he saying? Like verbatim, like, what is he saying that's bad or like wrong? And she's like, he's just like talking back and just like this. She's like, right, but like, what is he like? You guys obviously aren't agreeing, and like, he's supposed to respect the teacher, and sure, yeah, but like, what is he saying specifically that's just like, yep, that's not? And she couldn't. She's like, so he's challenging you on the way your guys' interactions are. Like, what is, but like, what is he saying that's bad? Like, what is getting him in trouble? And it was just like talking back. And it's just like, I just feel like you treat certain kids differently. And I said it. I don't know. So I think that's healthy. I think I would be proud of Liam if he stood up for himself.
Yeah,
and
because you're only likable if you fit into this bubble, if you don't challenge anything, and
you know what's weird? It's like
agreeable.
It's the opposite. I think that's just because you're a girl. I feel like there's a perception that you need to be agreeable, like you've talked about in the past.
Yeah.
Right, but like, what you come to find is an admirable trait that other kids like is if you don't care, right? Oh, he's so cool. He just like doesn't care about anything, doesn't care, right? And it's just like it's a perceived cool thing.
Yeah. And I mean, as a kid.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe from a teacher standpoint, the agreeable kid is like oh yeah, like he's good. He doesn't like challenge me on blah, 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 blah. But like, I would expect or want our kids to challenge us if they didn't feel the way we were interacting was appropriate with them. They might be wrong. But like, if they came to me like, hey, I feel like, you treat, Caroline differently and like me unfair, like I would respect that as a conversation.
Yeah, I want them to stand up for themselves.
Yeah. They might be wrong. They might be like, yeah, you do get treated differently because you're different people with different expectations, and that might not seem fair.
Yeah.
Sorry, but like, here's the reasoning, right? And here's the outcomes that we expect, and here's the outcomes that blah, 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 and I can maybe change this, but like, I would expect, I would rather have them kind of have that conversation than just always just, okay, Dad, yep, okay. Like, no, yeah. Because if you teach them to just be agreeable all the time, then they will just get walked over all over their entire lives.
Yep.
And we're getting too far. We're rambling too much.
We're like, I'll be shorter this time.
We need to get to bed.
Yeah, we do.
Because we have to wake up at what is going to feel like 6:30 a.m. as well.
Ugh, stupid.
And I have no days off because I took too many days off last week, and we got to grind some content. And the podcast isn't doing as good as I would hope, but we're not going to spend every episode talking about that. But we'll be transparent. Numbers aren't doing great. Some of the shorts are doing good. Some of the long form content isn't really doing super, super great. But, it's an hour of listening to people talk, and that's just hard to get people on board with. But, again, we've only been doing it for 2 months. We're going to do it for this full year. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys are enjoying the content and you're like, oh, I really think, or I would really like more people to watch this, tell them watch it. That's it. That's probably the easiest thing you can do. Subscriber counts don't really matter. Follower counts don't really matter. Likes and comments do help. It's more or less just finding people that actually want to watch this. That's it. That's the hard part. Social media used to be about, get a bunch of subscribers and do X, Y, and Z. But realistically, it's just we just need to find our audience of people that want to watch this. They're out there. They're for sure out there.
Where are you?
Yeah, where are you? I don't know. You just don't know about it yet. Maybe a year from now, we'll see. The subathon does have a goal. One of the donation goals to extend the podcast into all the way through next year, which will compensate for our investment into it next year. So maybe you'll see us next year, even if it doesn't do well. Who knows? It's kind of stressful, but getting this, like we talked about it earlier, getting all this done, it's kind of stressful. It's a lot of work. But if we got caught back up to where we were like multiple weeks ahead, we would be back to just like, just record on a Saturday and just like, it'll just be chill. So if we can get back to that, I think we're chilling.
Yeah.
But hope you guys enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
Comment, subscribe, all the above. Hopefully it recorded. Every time I've said this, it has. I only messed up once. I only messed up. Well, it wasn't my fault. Hardware fault. But software. But see you guys next episode. Don't know what it'll be about. As usual, we'll find something to talk about. We'll find some games or something to do. Subscribe to the channel. We still need to get to 10,000. I think that'll probably be the year goal, is maybe 10,000. We're at like 150. Instagram's doing pretty good. TikTok's doing hit and miss okay, and Facebook's doing hit and miss okay too. So, yep, that's it. Goodbye.